Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Dear James and the Lady Jaclyn coming to you live with intuitive insights and human design guidance for your life questions, the weekly energies. And we are both so happy and so thrilled to be here with you guys this last Wednesday of the year. As you know, we missed last week, right, Jaclyn? We had some stuff come up and everything, and we were guided to pass on the 22nd. But this is just so exciting. So welcome everybody to same Jaclyn. Give everybody a shout out and
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be able to join you guys today. And like James said, last week we did need a bit of a break. I had literally lost my voice. So that's quite interesting. You can't do a show with no voice, right? And then I messaged James and I was like, listen, what is your energy feels? Because I'm happy to talk less. And he said, you know what? I've also been traveling. I think we need a bit of a break. And it was perfect timing because I think we've got a lot of information already coming through. I know I had a chat to James a little bit before and he said he's got so much information. I also do. So it's going to be very, very exciting because this is the last show of 2021. And then we're going to start the new show next week in 2022. Can you even believe it? It's mind blowing, right?
it's so exciting. I kept, when I was doing the download for today's show and everything, and I literally kept, it's 12, I was like 1229, and I go 2022, and I'm like, no, 2021. But we're already leaping forward. The energy, the whole theme of today, the energies and this shift between. So 2022 is already, its energy, its presence, its beauty. That is probably, it's just, its beauty is already speaking. It's already calling to us, Jaclyn. And so, yes, we both needed a break and it was, and again, it's purposeful because we were guided. I mean, I really listened, and you losing your voice and me traveling and my energies and everything, and they were really pressing like, no. And so there was something very purposeful about that. And we always talk about listen to it. It may not make sense, but listen to what you're hearing and go as guided. And this is tough for Jaclyn and I. We're both like, yeah, let's go. We're here. We want to do this thing. And so it's hard for us to not do it, right? I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, literally, I always say to James, I'm jumping on the train. Are you coming with? And James like, yes. Which platform? So I just want to say we've got Haley that says hello. We have Nikki that says hello. Guys, if you're on live with us, the only way that we can actually see that you are there or feel your energy, besides feeling your energy, we want to actually see who you are. So give us a shout out and just give us a hello in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And then also, if you're watching this as a replay, tag and comment replay. Let us know as well where you're joining in from so that we can know who we're reaching and kind of, collectively hold space for each other.
absolutely. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us live. We absolutely love that you're here. You are the heart and soul of the show. It's all about you. That's why we come and do this. It's about the beautiful bridge between Jaclyn and I from an intuitive insights perspective and a human design guidance perspective. Of course, spirit, source, symphony, the et al, and then all of you. And it's your energy, your grace, your willingness to come and share with us that makes everything come together. There's when two or more gather, here's the trifecta. And so this is wonderful. So yes, Vicky, hello. And Jennifer, hello. And yes, I hope everyone has had a beautiful holiday and everything all around the world, however you're celebrating it. And so what do you think? Let's dive in, Jaclyn.
Let's dive in. Do you wanna kick it off or do you want me to kick it off?
What are you feeling? You call it.
I think I want to actually start with two themes and then I want to see how it ties in with you and then we can kind of go from there.
Let's go.
You go with that. Okay, let's just actually give a shout out. So I see Vicky is here. Hello, she's from Kansas. Haley is from England. Hello, Haley. And then we have Aya and Jennifer Stanley is from Paris. Oh my gosh, I love the fact that we're so global, guys. Hello.
I know, this beautiful global community here. So we're doing it.
We're doing it. Okay, so the first two themes that really came up on my side when I was looking at human design was the pressure to make improvements. So I know with the end of the year and the new year kind of starting, and guys, just excuse the sun because I'm trying to play around with a new space here so I can see the sun's creeping in, but you know what, we'll take it as light. So the main theme that came up is that pressure and that need to make improvements at the moment. So at the end of the year being kind of like the time when we set those New Year's resolutions, we set those goals. I don't know about you, but for the last 2 years, I've actually mixed things up a little bit. And I've not set those resolutions like I normally would have, or those massive goals, and kind of put more pressure on the year already. What I would normally do is just set intention. So kind of re-look at the year that I have had, notice the changes that I have made, and maybe a few changes that I still want to make going into the new year. But kind of just go into the new year with less stress to kind of put big expectations on what is possible. So with that gate 58, we can see it's bringing us that joy, that energy of joy, right? So we're actually at a crossroads in terms of human design. We're going to have the transits are going to be until about where I think it's 2 days time. And then we're going to cross over again to the gate 38, right? And the 39. So at the moment, we're in that joy energy, and that energy to correct things that need to be corrected. The shadow side is that pressure to be perfect. So kind of check in with yourself. Where are you trying to perfect the way things flow? Or where are you naturally also trying to correct things? Maybe it's routines that you're looking at in your life and checking in and saying, should I maybe eat a healthier meal or healthier diet moving forward in 2022? Should I start exercising a little bit more? Kind of just see what's coming up for you in terms of improving your life so that you can have more joy in your life. But also notice the stress or the pressure to improve. So that stress or that pressure that comes from setting those intentions or goals, that you actually then put so much energy and emphasis on controlling the outcome of 2022. Now, it doesn't mean don't set goals and intentions if it feels good. It just means check in with yourself and see where are you coming from a place of control, wanting to kind of like force the certainty of 2022 versus coming from a place of what can I control right now while setting the intention, living in trust and knowing that everything is working out for me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what you used a beautiful word, crossover, and that's going to tie into everything. This is a perfect word. What were the gates? We go from gate 58 to gate or gates.
So we go from 58 and then we move into 38.
38.
So we move into, so 38. So that is the second part actually is that provoking energy. So it's like, because it's opposite to the 39. So the 39 is in our earth. So we're grounded actually in this provocation kind of energy, but it's provoking us into abundance of spirit, right? And the 38 is knowing what's worth fighting for. So if you combine the two themes, it's knowing where to put your energy into in this now moment while setting the intention, knowing that the future will unfold the way that it's designed with or without your control. Makes sense?
Absolutely. And this is the beauty. So here are these themes and this word crossover. And it really ties in. And hello, Pamela from Cape Town. Lovely that you're joining us. And then Deborah, I believe I'm going to put my yes. She would love a message. And I think Debbie, Jaclyn, later on, I think you already have her information from prior. So as I explained to Jaclyn, I want to talk to you about some of these themes that tie in, and of course 2021 to 2022. It's an ending and a beginning, but really it's Jaclyn's word, crossover, this crossover. And so it's different than years past, because what the unseen has said to me for today was this beautiful word, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen. It's about revival. This is a revival. And so I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to give you some of the definitions really quickly about revival and And it says restoration to life, consciousness, vigor, strength, a bringing or coming back into use, attention, or being after a decline. It also is technically a religious term, and it says when God, source, spirit touches a community of faith. So right off the bat, there is this element. The overall theme is revival, that we are literally leaving, and you can apply this, you can see it globally, we can see it personally, where, has your life been like a tossed salad? Has this, the pandemic, this, coming back to life, back to consciousness, this restoration after a decline. And we've all experienced a global decline, a global effect that's affected us in ways that are, there was an article recently, Jaclyn, about, the number that have been pushed into poverty. This just from the pandemic, just from this global decline. And so the promise here in this crossover, in this transition, is revival, restoration, renewal, this coming back. And that's so important. And it's in the numbers, and we talk about the numbers all the time. So overall theme, revival. And then its secondary element, and I'm going to read a piece of this, but it's hexagram 40, and hexagram 40 is deliverance. It's liberation. So we can see how, it's Exodus, the book of Exodus. It's the being set free, the liberation, we're no longer enslaved. We're no longer in oppression. 2022 has this, it just ripples through me. It tingles through me you can see it on my face, this is going to be so good. And it's not just wishful, fancy. It's literal truth. Because the hidden influence in hexagram 40, deliverance, is after completion, renewal. So you can see we're completing something. We're truly not just ending a year, but we are completing a mega cycle. We are letting go of the past. And they're saying to me right now, like, we're letting go of the future, meaning the one we've all created in our heads. Doom and gloom. Oh my God, when is this going to end? Oh, for the love, will you please just deliver us? Will you bring about a newness? Because we're all in need of it. We're all like, oh, please just bring it about, please.
Yeah.
This is that piece. And so I'm going to read real quickly about deliverance. And it talks about, there's a couple of things. It says, thunder over, and this is going to be an important word coming up, thunder over the abysmal water shows a sudden storm meant to release tension. This type of natural phenomena happens when the leaves need to be removed from the trees during autumn, and again when the protective husks sheltering spring's rebirth are also removed. In either case, something is being loosened so that rebirth is liberated. Whatever is blocking your ability to move effortlessly and joyfully, you just heard Jaclyn mention the word joy, and joyfully through the world of events will be no match for the situations that unfold to help you let go. The hidden influence of after completion also underscores a need for renewal. That is this beautiful, and there's this quote that says, there is no real difficulty that requires outward movement. The outward is assured if the inward is aligned with this thought and this belief. But it's also, as Jaclyn just said too, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. So there's this beauty of what is unseen delivers us, moves us forward, ushers us through in a way that, again, we have yet to experience. And that's built into the words right now, into the numbers. And then lastly, just to encapsulate all of this, the numbers. So December, it's a 12. Today is a 29. The 29, you guys remember back on the 15th, I said to Jaclyn, did you say 29? And she was like, no. It's coming through today. It's about today, 29. The 29 becomes an 11, 2 plus 9. The year is a 5. The entire thing, 12, 29, 20, 21, becomes a 19, which becomes 1 and 9 becomes a 10, and 10 becomes a 1. So right off the bat, 12 is associated with utopia. 29, hexagram 29, is about the abyss. And you can see then, and let me just go to that really quickly, and its hidden influence is 27. It's a nourishing vision. It's nurture. And we're talking about how 2022 is going to bring about this renewal, this nourishment, this nourishing vision. And it says, if you cannot change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails and let it guide you. And there's a proverb, it's an Egyptian proverb, and it says, for the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. So there's this beautiful element that, again, with everything, two sides of the same coin, we'll always have thorns in order to have the beauty of flowers. And yet there's a promise here, Jaclyn. There's this beautiful promise about the fact that the thorns are fading. They're receding. And the beauty of the flowers, the beauty of the revival, the renewal, the restoration is coming to the forefront. With the abyss and Venus, as you know, Venus just she's doing her underworld. She just went retrograde. So she's in the underworld, the abyss. And yet Jupiter just moved into Pisces, which is all about abundance. I mean, it's in one of its sign elements. So there's this beauty of the 29, the abyss, 29 becomes an 11, which is a gateway. It's a way through. 5 is about change. And this 10, 1 is about new beginnings. And before the 19, and we've heard about 19 before, Jaclyn, and 19 is advance, approach, and it was the why. Out of the who, the what, and the why, advance. And the last thing they said to me, and we'll cover all of this and talk about it, and this was very funny, and I had to look it up, but they said to me, here's everything they gave me for today. And then they said, subtlety in motion. And I was like, subtlety in motion? That sounds very strange. Like what? And then I look it up, and subtlety, they say, especially of a change or distinction, so delicate or precise. And I underlined the word precise. So delicate or precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. So what the unseen is really talking about is this change is going to be epic, profound, and yet so precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. Meaning it may look the same and yet everything's different. And that element, and so it's to be open for this. See how, do you wake up and things are different and yet they look the same? Do you feel different and yet it looks the same? Be open, as they're saying it, be open. Be open to be open. Be open to be opened. Be open to this, because we're going to experience what we believe, right? Mm-hmm. So, and if we're open to see, those with eyes to see and ears to hear, if you see the difference, feel the difference, connect with it, you're going to, they're saying you're going to appreciate it that much faster. It may be subtlety in motion, and yet it will be profound.
Could you repeat what did you say about the roses and the not roses? I'm going to say roses now. The thorns and the flowers. What was the quote?
It's an Egyptian proverb, and it says, "For the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too."
I mean, hello. Like literally that hit me straight. And it actually took me to the visualization because I have 2 beautiful like iceberg roses in front of my house. And those are kind of my plants, are these roses. And as delicate as they are so resilient. And when I'm needing to prune them, I've got to, like, literally be rough. And like, I don't just cut off sometimes the heads, I actually just like pull them off. And sometimes every now and then I get clipped by a thorn. And instead of going, like flip, damn, and like, cursing and reacting, I'm going, oh, okay, sorry, was it too rough for you? Do you want me? And like, I talk to my plants because I'm a firm believer, like, energy, like they grow better when you actually talk to them. And those are my babies. So I'm talking to them and I'm just like, oh, sorry, was that a bit rough? Like, and then I pull a little bit softer, and then I talk to them a little bit more. And what was so beautiful when you kind of said that, because that's exactly it. It's like, you're planting the seeds for 2022, right? And are you coming from a place of trying to control, trying to kind of put everything in place by being super rigid, where maybe it doesn't feel good, versus letting things go a little bit and kind of being open to noticing the changes of, I know, like, for example, I'm going to use the analogy of my roses. When they bloom quite a bit, the roses actually change color. So they actually go from white and they add a little bit of pink. And they're always doing that, but I'm only noticing it when I'm noticing it. So it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly what you're talking about, James. It's kind of like noticing that everything is as it is. It's always been, but are you changing your perspective? Are you able to look at different opportunities? Are you willing to come from a place of power in your own flow? And it's so interesting, like you mentioned that letting go, and I literally wrote let go and surrender to what life has for you. And then because of the 58 as well, and because it's all about patterns, and there is an element of routines, and because it's the start of a new year, looking at what new routines you can bring in. So looking at maybe your day-to-day, maybe life is the same, but where are you wanting to kind of maybe change the perspective of the routine that you naturally have? If you're working 8 to 5, and that maybe is not going to change, but the way that you're approaching it, the perspective that you have towards it might actually change. And this is all because it's actually getting you to step in to your own flow. So it's kind of like, this is a reminder over the next 2 weeks to really connect to your own flow, to connect to who you are, what you want, not to fall into the trap of everyone